Really, the best way to get started is to really experience it. So I think a lot of people, when they think of getting started, they go and they'll just buy Bitcoin or they'll buy Ethereum, and then they don't do anything.
They just sit on it.
Right.
I think that's really good advice, Logan, on having the experience of exchange, because it's not going to do you any good now and in the future if you just buy it and sit on it and you don't know how to make transactions with other people or businesses.
Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions.
All right, we're back with another episode of Ask the Money Nerds, and this episode is for you if you're wondering how to get started in the crypto world. We've had many questions about what to do, what it means, how to get started. Is it a part of my investor DNA? And so we're back with two money nerds today. We have Garrett Gunderson, obviously you know him well, and Logan Sunday. And we're just going to do a quick video of what it means to get started in the crypto world, how to set up an account, what is a digital wallet, how do I get one, how do I start exchanging in the crypto world. And we want you to know this because we believe it's a part of our future and it's a part of building an ethical system moving forward. And so we're going to answer those questions for you today.
What's up, man? I mean,
here.
You know, you're going to be able to do this much better than me. So I'm just, today this is Amanda's topic. She's the viewer with the question. I'm like, for sure. Let's let Amanda ask a question. No doubt. She's been an advocate and representative of the viewers for a long time. So let's learn.
Yeah. So I just want to give just a simplified video and a summary of how to get started, because I think we said this before of just, it seems like such a simple concept. Like this is a form of, currency and exchange. Should be easy to understand. And then as I've researched it and as other people dive in, it feels overwhelming. It feels a little ambiguous and like, what do I do? So let's just break it down and let's just start with, how does someone get started if they've never purchased, crypto?
Okay.
What are the things that you need? Because we've talked about a digital wallet before, there are lots of coins, but, just give a general overview. If someone wanted to get started, how would they do that?
Yeah, so I think really the best way to get started is to really experience it. So I think a lot of people, when they think of getting started, they go and they'll just buy Bitcoin or they'll buy Ethereum, and then they don't do anything.
They just sit on it.
Right. So to me, that's not really experiencing what this technology is capable of. So to get started, I would recommend, well, right now you're going to have to go to some type of an exchange, Coinbase or Gemini, or Bittrex, or depending on whatever country you're in, setting up an account there. They are going to require KYC, which is know your customer. So you will have to give them your personal information, right? Otherwise, it's not a legit exchange, right? So all for tax purposes usually, right? Hopefully that's all it's for. So setting up an exchange, purchasing just a small amount. Maybe you're even just starting with a stable coin, something that's not going to fluctuate wildly in value, because those stable coins you can transfer just as easily as Bitcoin or some of these other currencies. So I would then, after setting up an exchange, I would open up a wallet on my phone of some kind. Now there's two types of wallets. There's hosted and unhosted.
Okay,
so basically,
this is good to know. Tell us the difference between
so hosted is basically there's a third party that's in charge of it, right? So if you lose your wallet or you lose your phone, they can help you get it back, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay? And then there's an unhosted wallet, which a lot of people prefer because I have full control over it. But if you lose it, guess what? It's on you. It's like cash, right? So there's hardware wallets, physical like pieces of, like a hard drive, that I can store the stuff on. But if you lose it, or if you lose the backup codes, then you're responsible for that. So I highly recommend maybe trying both. Now, the unhosted wallets are going to have backup codes that you write down and you keep safe. And if someone gets their hands on those, they could steal your money if they know what they're doing. So I would just move the money around, experience what it's like, send it to someone. And then beyond that, because we can move money with Venmo, let's be honest, that's not very, very exciting. So if there's things that we can actually utilize it for. Now with Ethereum, there's a lot more things that you can actually utilize the Ethereum with. I mean, there's lots of companies building on top of it, and there's other blockchains as well that are building platforms, and you can actually use this stuff, which gives it real value, not just speculative value. So that's something that I think everyone should try. You know, get that feeling for it, and I think that's one of the best ways to start at first. And obviously, you got to do, if you're going to buy more than a token small amount, please, you know, you really got to do your research on these projects, because let's be honest, if you're going to throw a lot of money in it, it's going to be speculation at this point. It's like the early internet days. We don't know who's going to win. So let's play around with the internet, but let's not bet the farm on it just yet.
Yeah. So
AOL, they looked like they were going to win.
Exactly.
They didn't.
You know, you got mail. That's, you know, I still remember that.
So it sounds
You
like
still have AOL pass.
no,
Email.
I'm not that antiquated. So it sounds like someone could simply get $50.
Absolutely.
And I don't know this, you correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe you get your posse together, your clan, your friends, and the 5 of you each buy $50, right? And
Is that what you call your group of friends?
My
Posse.
homies, my posse.
Yeah. When they're dealing with cryptocurrency, it becomes a posse. Yeah.
You know, if you just get a group of people together that you know, like, and trust, and
Sure.
you're just like, hey, we're going to play around with this together, exchange
Yeah.
it with one
Am I in
another.
your posse?
Yeah, I would add you to that list.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like your distant one. You're like, there's no other options. Sure.
You know, if option 3 fails, I'll bump him up to the list. No. So I think that's really good advice, Logan, on having the experience of exchange, because it's not going to do you any good now and in the future if you just buy it and sit on it and you don't know how to make transactions
Right.
with other people or businesses. And that leads me to another question is how easily can you do transactions with businesses? Like if I want to go buy a burger, you know, or at the place down the road.
There's people that bought stuff like that early on, like a pizza, and that's a lot of money now.
Yeah, like
They wish they
I'm not
would've
going to be
held
able to
on.
do that with my crypto at this point at very many locations. So
Not at very many locations. I mean, there are apps out there that help you track and find businesses that accept cryptocurrencies, and you'll find a lot online. And so if you're a business out there and you want to get some, you know, free exposure, maybe, you know, advertise that you accept Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden all these Bitcoin nerds are going to come shop
yeah.
at you because they want to support those businesses. So yeah, you're honestly not going to be able to use it for a lot right now. That's why it's so early days with it. I mean, that's going to change. It will be easier and easier. There's a company that just came out with a credit card that actually now pays you back in Bitcoin. So I mean, they're trying different things. I mean, they have crypto debit cards, so I can use my debit card and then they deduct my cryptocurrency balance for that. There's ways to
I
spend
love to
it.
see all the innovation and just people step up and
Yeah, they're
figure
trying new
things out.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you had mentioned how to set up a digital wallet. You mentioned a couple of companies. Will you say those names again?
Well, Coinbase is one of the most well-known. They have a hosted wallet that you can have on your phone.
Yep.
Gemini is another big exchange.
Okay.
They're all over the Play Store or, you know, the Apple App Store.
Yeah.
But if it's an unhosted wallet, you'll know because it's going to ask you to write down usually it's like a 12-word phrase. Write these 12 words down, because if you lose it, then you're going to have these 12 words to get
Yes.
back. So that's how you'll know if it's unhosted or not.
Okay.
Going to give you that information.
So
What are you gonna do?
how do
What
I
are you gonna do,
decide?
Stola?
How do I decide what coin I should buy? Like, am I just gonna go and type in? Bitcoin is the one that we hear of most often, right? But it's not the best. It's not the only. And
Sure.
so, am I just gonna type in, you know, cryptocurrency and see what reviews there are and go with one, or how do I?
You know, it really
even purchase my first coin, or
Yeah.
actually maybe not my first coin, but maybe like a fraction of a coin. You know?
Yeah, purchase a fraction of the coin. I mean, you're going to want to purchase one. If you're going to want to move it around, we want one that's probably going to have lower transaction fees, so you can move it more than once. So if you bought $5 of Bitcoin, you might only be able to move it one time. I don't know. It depends on what the fees are at that time. So you may want to start with maybe a Litecoin or just like a stable coin of some kind, so we can actually move it around.
What are the the transactional fees typically?
It varies, and it's going to vary by usage right now. So
Okay.
back in 17, when things were super hot and everyone was trying to jump in at the same time, the fees jumped up significantly at that time. So it actually became impossible to move, you know, certain amounts of money without paying the fee. I mean, the fee would be higher than what your balance was. So they're working on solutions for that. Like I said, it's early days. They're working on solutions for that. So some have much, much lower fees than others. So I would probably look for one lower fees so you can actually experience it.
Yeah,
Any other questions there, Stoba?
You know, that's all I have. Do you have any thoughts?
What are you going to do about this?
What am I going to do about
I'm getting
this?
some USD stablecoin.
USD.
You know, I feel like that's the most stable option right now. You know, it's just, it does feel like there's a level of volatility still in the crypto world. You know, like I get notifications that are like, it just skyrocketed or it's at its lowest. And it's just, wow, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster, but this is supposed to be the best thing that's going to save the world and save all of us. But it still feels very uncertain. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't gotten behind it for that reason. And I mean, I have a couple of people in my social network where they're just like, I told you should have bought it when I mentioned it the first time 5 years
Logan
ago.
never did that to me. Never did it to me.
And there's just this, you know, sense of like, I told you so, but then I also don't feel like I'm missing out at the same time.
Yeah, no, I like I said, it's still early days. And I think if you want to buy a certain amount and forget about it, that's fine. But if you find yourself looking at the price of something on a consistent basis, guess what? You own too much.
Yeah.
And that's
like
not
that.
where you want to be.
Yeah, so maybe just, I guess my encouragement is get playful with it, start learning about it in a deeper way. And I like your suggestion of learning to exchange and getting familiar with the systems and how to make those transactions. So
yeah, it's going to be an exciting world for, you know, I think it's going to bring a lot of really cool innovations. It's going to make things super efficient. Lots of big companies are going to be built and lots of money is going to be made in the space. And it's not necessarily going to be in the coins themselves. It's going to be businesses like Amazon came from the internet. What's going to come out of this technology? We're going to have some really young billionaires coming out of this space because of business.
Yeah. And I appreciate that about you, Logan. You're optimistic about this new technology that has entered our world. And I think you can get a sense for, like, as you enter this space and try to learn about it, that it's just like you're anti something, or, you know, it feels like more of a negative.
Why are you pointing
energy.
at me when you say anti? I'm just wondering what's going on. I feel in this.
I didn't.
At least I'm in your posse, but I'm, you know.
You're in my posse, so this isn't negative
arm's
energy
length
towards
posse.
you. But just, you have more of a negative energy, like an urgency, a fear-mongering kind of energy. But when I hear you talk about it and a few others, it's like, look at all the potential. Yep. And if you learn about it and if you prepare and you experience this, like, there's a lot of great things that can come from this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I appreciate that about you and what you brought to the table, Logan.
I appreciate that you're the advocate for the listener. This was the question you had, so I let you. And I just want all those people that have reminded me that I don't know how to shut up and I never listen to the guests. I really listened this time.
You did.
I'm growing. Anyone can learn. If I can learn, you can learn. So you can learn about stablecoin, or you can learn about cryptocurrency or blockchain, or you name it. Want to continue the path to be a better investor? Make sure that you're not losing money and taking too much risk? Well, click here and learn about strengths vesting.